Welcome back to Pro League, everybody, live in the Next Arena. My name is Valdez. Joined with me today is Moonglade, and we have the big match tonight. It's going to be Jin Green Wings versus KT Rolster. After that, not so good one.
Yeah, a bit of a disappointing first match of the day, but it's all been leading up to this one. Jin Green Wings versus KT. Fantastic lineups from both sides, starting off with the GSL winner from yesterday, Life versus Rogue, and another Zerg who's actually been doing very well for himself.
Yeah, that's a really interesting first match. We have a lot to talk about that one and the matches to come. So let's introduce our two teams here. Jin Green Wings looking fancy smanchy, as well as KT Rolster got their jackets on. KT Rolster so far just 1-2. Not the greatest round 2 so far either.
Yeah, not having much luck. They got a bit of catch up to do, but maybe they can do it today. It's going to be a hard one though. One of the hardest, I have to say, this round.
Yeah. Life looked really happy, man. And who wouldn't be happy after winning a big title like that?
After going the distance, defeating Parting 4-3, like the biggest slug match of them all, only to go in the next day and get back to the grind. Damn, man.
It's pretty crazy. You got to keep in mind, like, what did they do last night at Celebration?
Yeah.
What was Life doing last night? Was he practicing his ZVZ Moonglade? What do you think?
He's probably getting drunk, man. He's probably drinking a lot of soju.
To be honest, that's what I would have done as well. You win a gigantic tournament like that, you're going to go back to the practice house and just practice ZVZ for Pro League?
No.
Yeah.
No, you're not. No, you're not, Valdez. You're going to go and you're going to get drunk with your team, and then maybe the next day, if you have a few hours, go practice that ZVZ. That's another talking point we're going to get into when this match starts to warm up a bit. I mean, we also have some other fantastic matches today. You know, let's not forget about just the first one. We have SOS versus Flash, Trap versus Zest, Cure versus Stats. Like, all the top-level players are going to be playing today, man.
Stats was really amused about something. I don't really know what it was. Maybe the Korean commentators were talking about him. I heard that Stats won the award for, like, weirdest person on the team. I'm not sure if that was true or if that was just a joke. But
I can see it.
I'll check into that.
I can definitely see it, man.
Well, as we mentioned before, here are all the matchups. I guess we can take a look at the maps here. For ZVZ, it's going to be on Expedition Lost. Pretty interesting one. A lot of Zergs liking to come out on that map here recently. Deadwing is going to be the map for SOS versus Flash. I was actually talking about this with you. You said that possibly Flash looking to snipe out a Protoss.
It seems that way, right? I feel like it's definitely what they were looking for, putting someone like that on Deadwing. It's usually going to be a Protoss on that map, especially from Jin, who has a lot of powerful Protosses.
Yeah, definitely, man. And for that third match, it's going to be on Merry-Go-Round, and we see 2 Protosses on that map, something you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, not to mention it's a kind of a rematch from the grand finals of IEM World Champions.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty crazy. And then, of course, Cure versus Stats down at the bottom. And so far, after that last match, Samsung Galaxy Con still in second because they have that loss. So CJ Entus still at the top. I do have to mention as well CJ Entus, who do have that 3-0 after defeating both KT Rolster and SK Telecom. So 2 of the hardest teams out of the way for them, looking primed to get that first place spot. I would not be surprised at all.
I'd be surprised if they don't get it this time around. After beating those 2 teams, like, it's almost guaranteed.
Yeah. Jin Green Wings here looking to take the win, possibly. And if they do, they will go up to 3-1, but they're not going to have as many indicator points as Samsung Galaxy Con, so they will be below them, even if they win with a 3-0. KT Rolster looking to take a big win over one of the more tougher teams here in Pro League.
They have to take it, man. They're definitely falling behind. That transitioned pretty quickly.
We're like,
I'm like
our
way back here and stuff. Like, yeah, man.
That's the way we cast. I actually cast like this
because
I'm a nerd.
I cast with my legs over the bars here and just like watch the big screen. I don't know.
That would be sick, man. We should actually do that.
We could actually
just cast like this way.
We could set up and like let everyone just watch these guys. Like, here, guys, just enjoy.
Take a good look at the big screen.
Breathe it in.
There's Zest on the camera.
Happy birthday, Zest. No, not really. I think it's an anniversary today.
Yeah, his 4th anniversary. We did also get gifts.
We got goodie bags.
Yeah, we can show it to you guys once we come back on camera. If we come back on camera. Look at that watermelon.
Oh, my God.
What?
They're pretty expensive right here.
Yeah, they're quite expensive, especially those gigantic ones. I don't think I've ever seen one that big.
They're like $20 or something for one of those bad boys.
That's like unbelievable, actually.
Yeah, not to mention those cakes. Look at those cakes, man. Did they come from Paris Baguette? Because the shop upstairs,
Probably.
it's
Well,
like $30 or $40.
no, they come from Cho Cake House, actually. Saw it there.
It's like a cheap ripoff or something. Not impressed.
Nothing can compare to Paris Baguette, but introducing our players here, Rogue, you were saying he's been successful so far. I'd say 6-2 is pretty successful.
Pretty damn successful. I dare say he's got a fairly good shot at defeating Life today, considering Life has been quite busy with every other tournament. He's almost been winning, if not winning.
Yeah.
He's been traveling. He's been playing in the semifinals of Star League, the grand finals of GSL only yesterday. He's had no time to practice his ZVZ, which has no doubt fallen by the wayside, man. He hasn't had to play this matchup in so long, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, just like you said, I think that's exactly right in terms of, like, when did he practice for his ZVZ? It was probably today while he was hungover after celebrating last night from his win. He just practiced so much for the ZVP finals and that ZVT like you were talking about. He's 2-0 so far in Pro League, but those must have been from a while ago.
They would have been a couple of months ago.
Yeah, probably round 1.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match today. I mean, it would be fantastic if Life can pull it out. It would just further kind of push the fact that he might be our very first Bonjour here in StarCraft 2. He's just too dominant at this point.
He doesn't look too tired, to be honest. He's got like some bags under his eyes. Looking to extend his victories here. Trying to get the Pro League win for his team KT. Can he do it? It's going to be an interesting one here, guys. The ZVZ between Rogue and Life. He's even got that poster there from his win from GSL. He's got a lot riding on him here in game number 1. Let's see who's going to win it here. Let's jump into the game right now. Up here in the top right in the red for the Jin Air Green Wings, it is Rogue.
Down here in the bottom left for KT, it is the best player in the world, Life.
Undisputable at this point. I mean,
I'd have to say. I'd have to agree with you, Valdez. It's simply undisputable.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, you think about other very successful players. Another player that comes to mind for me is Sue. You know, a guy who I think he made it to 4 GSL finals in a row and lost them all.
Yep.
He's not, you know, that championship material. You know, he's an incredibly consistent and very strong player when he was in his prime. But Life, he's a guy that gets there and then he wins those finals.
Well, the interesting thing as well is Life plays completely different to every other Zerg. He has his own style, his own mindset. He is very aggressive when he has to be, and it's just this kind of aggression that you just don't even think about. It's like 2-base Roach Hydra against Protoss. And it just doesn't make sense, but it works.
Yeah, it's like that winning mentality. It's something that I've heard Artosis talk about before when he was talking about MC. This guy, you know, even when he wasn't in his prime, he still found ways to win because he saw the very intricate details of this very complicated game, and he was able to use them to his advantage, and he somehow squeaked out wins, even when he was the underdog in some cases.
KT, are you ready? Life. GSL.
Says he won GSL versus parting for 3. And then I didn't see the rest of it. Something about Pro League.
Yeah. Well, hatch first for both players. Bit of a gentleman's agreement this game. Let's see when the gas timings will be. It's the next step. We do see Rogue going to be going for the gas before pool by the looks of things. Same with Life. Okay. Champions match. Go, go.
Okay. It says, like, go to the ace match and then have a champions match. Not sure what they're trying to get at here.
Maybe like a
Life versus Maru?
Maybe?
Maru's actually not on the roster. I guess because he won that, or, you know, because he won SSL. But he must be here.
He should be here. We actually haven't seen him.
Yeah, I see him. Okay. I'm looking at him right now. He's down there.
So he could be the ace player.
On the bench.
But obviously, he hasn't had much time to prepare either, which is why they didn't use him, which I think is much smarter from Jin Air, dare I say.
Probably a better choice. But if you think about the KT lineup, I guess, going into this, because it's going to be a little bit before we have some action here between these two players, but KT, they've kind of abandoned TY. Like, TY just has not come out ever since Life joined the team.
Well, let's face it, man. He has not been performing at all either. Like, he has not been playing very well. So I can understand why he needs a bit of a benching for a while here until he kind of gets back into his form. And when he is in form, he is playing fantastically. It's just been a while.
Do you remember the first round of last season of Pro League? He went 7-0, I think.
Yeah,
he
I remember that.
A bunch of incredible wins holding off crazy Protoss all-ins that were very popular at the time. He was one of the best, and he got off to a crazy start, but then he kind of fell off a little bit towards the end, and then especially here in the beginning of 2015, just not playing the same, kind of successful style.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of slumped a little bit.
You just got to think that KT, they're just not even willing to use TY. They're putting Life out after he won GSL.
Yeah, I guess you kind of feel a little bit disrespected in that case, right? Like he actually just played in the grand finals last night, but you're still going to use him the next day because TY is...
Because you need that win?
TY is not as good as an exhausted Life that has no practice, essentially, is what they say.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Disrespectful to TY, I guess.
Well, I mean, maybe TY is just... He's actually on holidays right now, maybe. Maybe something happened. Maybe he broke up with his girlfriend and he's, like, completely
Could
destroyed.
be, man.
Yeah. We are going to see a lot of aggression coming from, or quite possibly coming from Rogue. He's actually has a bit of a window here because we did see Life completely forego Banelings, going straight to Lair. We'll be putting down that Roach one very shortly as well.
Yeah, and the thing about this is that Rogue got the scout as well. With that one Zergling, you saw Life start the Lair before he killed the Zergling, but the Zergling was, pushed away from the hatch, so he possibly couldn't see it, but then he just barely got the scout off. So Rogue does get that scouting information, whereas Life, he's kind of in the dark here.
He is in the dark. Look at those nice SimCity from Life. Got everything up in time, but let's see if these Lings that are coming across the map can actually do something. There's only 2 Queens, essentially, to defend against this. And none have transfuses currently. But it doesn't look like it. It looks like instead we're just going to see Rogue kind of go for a... just to contain, maybe stop the creep spread, apply some pressure, not too much.
We saw him attacking that rock tower. That's what it's called, right? The rock tower.
The rock tower, yeah.
The rock tower.
It's weird. And we're actually going to see a Spire tech from Rogue. So it's going to be a nice opening, actually. A bit of difference. I'm kind of excited for this. It's going to be Mutterling against that Roach and an attempt at a third base from Life, but he's going to be contained for a little while longer, it seems.
Yeah, the Roaches are popping out here, but they're not quite ready. And
ooh, he actually got that
creep tumor, right?
That's big. That's actually pretty big. He needs creep spread to that third base, so he can eventually defend against Mutas with Queens and maybe even some Spores if he needs to run them up there.
That Queen trying to get over here and possibly push away those Overlords of the Overseer that's morphing here, but a lot of Lings out on the map.
Not going to get that run by. And he might be fishing for that creep tumor that is on the map there with this Overseer when he gets a chance. He might even commit to this. He could actually, if he committed enough, he could cancel it, but he's going to go for the Roaches instead.
24 Lings here, get a very nice surround on everything over here at this third base. Some transfuse coming down right before that Queen dies.
Ooh, it's not going to be enough to actually kill every single Roach, though, so he's going to pull back, get a nice trade-off. Getting rid of that Queen is pretty big, though, especially when you got Mutas on the way.
Let's see how many he's going to be able to save up for here. He's got 700 gas, 700 Mutas once the minerals catch up. See how many he commits to exactly. 7?
Yep. And the scary thing is, though, Life is going to have a +1 with Roach speed sort of attack. Going to be applying the pressure to the front, no doubt the natural. And quite possibly doing a lot of drone damage if we do see Rogue out of position. He's going to have to commit his Mutas to defending instead of going for that third base.
You got an Overseer here at the front just for scouting up the ramp. And it looks like he's not even going to go over there where those spine crawlers are. He's going to try to go for this third base, actually.
He could very well get it as well. That's +1 Roaches. They're going to 2-hit Zerglings. Ooh, still, that is a lot of Mutas. Instead, going to commit to the Lings, which I like a lot as well. Essentially, with these Roaches, Life is buying the time he needs to put down Spores, make more Roaches, start droning up that third base. Being in a good position against Mutas, essentially.
Yeah. Isn't quite able to kill that hatchery, gets it to about 1/3 health. Could come into play a little bit later on in the game if there's no defense over there. Maybe go for some Roaches down over the left side. There's a little path over there if you want to sneak them in. But we'll see.
Now looks like Rogue is just going to be doing the cleanup duty on any Overlords across the map. Essentially already giving up on any chance of doing harass damage to Life at his third base or natural. There's already a lot of queens out for life as well, mind you.
8.
Yeah, that is a lot. There's no way these mutas are going to find damage. And Life is in a very comfy position right now.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he's getting his Infestor Tech up as well. See what he decides to go here. We also have an Infestation Pit coming down for Rogue. And it looks like he does want to transition a bit here as well. He's getting that +1 to range as well as roach speed.
One of the big advantages Life does get for going Roach Tech first is his upgrade advantage on the range. You know, +2 is almost finished at this point, where +1 is only half done for Rogue. And we're seeing already sort of a transition. Oh, as Banelings actually go. Do a little bit of damage. 9 drones, not bad at all. That's definitely one way to kind of catch up.
It's quite nice. But Life, pretty decent micro there once he realized it, actually minimizing the damage. We're actually going to see Swarm Host here out of Rogue.
Just what I was about to mention before those Banelings ruined everything. And we're going to see some Lings run in, do even more drone damage. He's making some good use of these units that he just cannot really use anymore as the Roach numbers get bigger. And Infestor is going to be on the way very soon. I'm liking this idea from Rogue. Let's see how useful he can be with these Swarm Hosts. I feel like they're good to a point, and there is definitely Life will definitely have the ability to kind of steamroll them if he adds a lot of Hydras in with his Roaches. And with that upgrade advantage, you know, there is definitely sort of avenues of attack Life can take. It looks like Rogue's going to show them pretty early on here and start applying a pressure with Locusts. Got to be careful of any sort of counter-attack that Life can do as well.
Yeah, something you see very often from Protoss players such as Hero, he, in order to deal with these Swarmos, instead of fighting them head-on with a bunch of Colossi, he just goes for counterattacks, he goes for drops with Warp Prisms and stuff like this. We'll see if Life wants to go for that. He is known for his aggression.
It's essentially the same kind of situation as well. Like, if you see the Locusts go one way, you can go around them, maybe try and kill the Swarm Hosts, or simply just avoid them altogether and go for more base damage.
You know what we could see? We did have the burrow movements here, actually, from the Roaches. If you could burrow underneath those Swarmos and catch them off guard, that would be insane.
Well, man, he could just do that in general and go to that third base. Look at that third base. It's still on a third of its health. There's no detection there. There's no static defense. There's nothing to defend against burrowed Roaches. And we're seeing Life run right towards it with these Roaches on the left side of the map.
Uh-oh. Oh, man. Losing 2 Infestors out here. To a couple Locusts. It's bad positioning there from Life, not paying attention. Like you said, those Roaches going towards that third base. Rogue does have a bunch of these Roaches in position, but is it going to be enough? Looks like it will be.
Yeah, looks like it. But at the same time, we do see Rogue in the main base of Life, and there's nothing really to defend except for 3 Hydras, which are going to get DPS down pretty quickly.
Yeah, should be easy here. Even 2 Hydras popping out of the main hatchery going to get focused down. And a very nice trade here for Rogue. More Locust pushing at the front. He's losing all of that mining damage, but oh, look at this. He's able to get 1 Swarmos, it looks like. I thought he was going to be able to get more, but that's what I was talking about, that surprise attacks.
Yeah. Got to be careful of where your Swarmos are and where the Locusts are heading. And some pretty efficient trades here as well with these Locusts, you know, getting a few Roaches and a Queen. Very efficient for free units, man.
Nice Fungus here to defend the attack from Life. Able to shut this one down, not taking too much damage. Wins the trade.
Queens are just not good against the Locusts. It is just such a bad fight.
Very sad to watch. Not paying attention even his Life. Not able to get the transfuses down. Okay, there's a couple.
And we are seeing that Hydra transition from Rogue as well. So he's going to have a pretty formidable army as well as these Swarmos to kind of do a lot of damage.
And you know what? He's even caught up in the upgrades. He's gotten that +2 now up to par. The one thing he doesn't have is that armor. You know, Life does have 2-2 at this point, whereas Rogue just has 2-0 in a second.
Massive counterattack from Life, though, going straight for that third base. There's not enough Roaches or defense there to really deal with it. So he's going to lose it, and essentially, I think it might be a base trade, sort of base trade. But we are seeing Rogue transition back. I don't think he'll have enough even now.
Oh, that Hydralistan is trying to upgrade right now. Could focus down all those Roaches, though, going for the Hydras.
Oh, man.
No protection for those Hydras.
Huge mistake. He's got a bunch of Roaches just below that ramp. Down goes the third base. Same time, though, Life's main base is under assault. He's going to be losing that lair.
Now Life trying to go for more damage over here. He might be able to focus down 1 Infestor, but that's not going to be that good. He's going to lose all those Roaches now.
Yeah, not good at all. I mean, look at the supply difference as well. 50 supply difference. Rogue is miles ahead. And it's only going to get worse because we do see that constant stream of Locust just go towards the third base, consistently trading.
That Stormos tech was just such a good idea out of Rogue. You called it, man. And it's just done so much damage consistently throughout this entire game.
Yeah, I feel like Life really should have nipped that in the butt really early on. Maybe gone for Roach Hydra and just tried to crush it instead of just taking this ongoing damage and trying to counterattack with Roaches that has not been really successful until that last fight. But even then, it cost Life his main. Not exactly worth it.
Yeah. And this may be the end, man. Just way too many Roaches, totally outnumbering Life here. You guys see the supplies in the top right. Some Fungals are going to come down. Some Queens are going to try to defend, but it looks like this is going to be the end here for Life. Rogue is going to be able to take this one. 1-0 for Janair.
We called it, Valdez. We called it, man.
We actually just high-fived because we both predicted Rogue to win this one.
I had a feeling, you know what? He won GSL yesterday in a 7-game nail-biter. Like, clearly he's not going to have the same sort of energy for today's matches.
Yeah, but also just very stellar play out of Rogue. Just good decisions all around and just, well played. Really got to hand it to Rogue there. He's got to feel good taking out the, the newest Bones Raw, I guess you can say.
Yeah, the top dog right now, that's for sure. And we're going to get a nice, pretty sexy match coming up. SOS versus Flash, man.
Yeah, man. Every single game here is just unbelievable.
It just gets better and better. I mean, this is fantastic. And this should be a very interesting one because Flash was put out here for a reason. I can't wait to see what that reason was.
Yeah.
English. Clearly, he has something planned for Protoss. He has been looking good in recent times, getting better and better.
He's got that upwards.
He's out of that slump, that's for sure.
For sure, man. Flash fans will be happy. KT fans as well. They really need to bring it back here. Flash actually needs to win this one. Who did you predict for this one? Did you say Flash?
I did say Flash. I did say Flash. I felt like there was a reason he was out, and it's going to be a good one. And SOS, hasn't looked the most solid against Terran in recent days. Well, really that solid in general. He's had a lot of ups and downs. So I kind of banked on that. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think Flash has it. I think it's time for Flash to kind of step up that next step and start playing even better.
For me, it's like, I don't know, SOS, he comes out on Deadwing. It's a pretty good map for him. He showed like a pretty stellar game against Lucera very recently where he showed just some very innovative play, something we don't see very often. Just like huge amounts of chargelets and Phoenixes, even with the +1 upgrade. I think it was me and Wolf casting that day. I think I said it was like the innovation and the experimentation of SOS finally coming together. Because he had so many of these weird games where he just did a crazy amount of tech on 2-base against Zerg and got like crushed on King Sejong Station.
Yeah.
That happened like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, those were pretty dark times for SOS.
Yeah. But I feel like he's coming out of that weird experimentation, innovation time, and I feel like he's going to hit his stride now. So I feel on this map, he's got to feel comfortable. And up against Flash, we haven't seen much of his TVP recently. So I slightly favor SOS here.
Okay.